Start counting out.
Welcome to Rodas Live. I'm your host, Rodas. Today we have a special guest. We have a creator on this episode of Rodas Live. Would you like to introduce yourself to the listeners of Rodas Live and tell them a little bit about yourself?
What's up, everybody? This is Sketchkilla, the creator. I'm a graphic designer, photographer, do a little bit of creation of different podcasts. Just overall, I've been a creator for quite a while in the terms of creating platforms for artists to come aboard and promote their music as well as talk shows and stuff like that. Been in the field for quite a while on the underground. Appreciate shout out to Riders for letting me be a part of the program, man. Look forward to having a conversation with you.
That's what's poppin'. All right, but for those who don't know, Sketchkilla, the creator, he did my first album photo shoot. He did my first album cover, my second album cover. He also he shot a video for my fourth album, which featured Nature, Quincy, and myself. I appreciate you for that. And he did the Chicago Sleepers mixtape album cover. So let the people know what you've been doing since then.
Oh man. And let me say this before I get into that. Those projects that I did with you, those projects really helped me develop my style as a graphic designer, man. I really appreciate the opportunity that you gave me, kind of letting me paint the picture of what your music was, visually, all those albums, they really helped me become who I am, today, and being able to, use my photography, my graphic design, and bring those things together to create a project for you guys, as well as the music videos, and I thank you for that. But, since then, like I say, man, I've been really, I've been doing graphic design for a while, and then I started to move into producing music videos. Did the music video thing for a while, and the culture kind of went in a direction that I wasn't really too cool with. So I said, you know what, I think I'm gonna step away from music videos and I'm gonna start trying to do real, produce my own television shows and podcasts and things of that nature. So I've been shooting this show called The Record Pool for about maybe 5 years now. It's pretty much, kind of like what BET 106 in Park was, Soul Train, but put into the form of a podcast or a television show where we have artists come in and we interview them. We talk about their music, talk a little bit about, who they are as a person and what they, why they decided to go into music, shoot a couple other shows, one called Eastside Certified. It's another show. It's pretty much dedicated to a lot of underground, rappers and hip hop artists. And then we have them do a performance after we do the interview. So, like I say, man, it's been, after, hooking up with you and Lit and Swift, it really kind of, got me on the right track of being in, underground hip hop in Chicago for a long time. And, it's just been that ever since, creating new projects, creating new products, trying to, push the envelope and show what Chicago has to offer on the music scene from behind the scenes, So it's just been, I love creating. My name is Sketchkilla Creator. I love, taking products from one point to completion, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.
That's what's up. I'm familiar with the Record Pool, and I recently seen the Eastside Certified. I haven't got an invite to either show, but
I'm gonna get you on there. Best believe I'm gonna get you on there.
I'm just messing with you. So how do you successfully see through each project? How do you do that?
Well, I always feel like, I have this this philosophy of it doesn't go wrong, it starts wrong. So anytime I come up with a project or I have something I'm about to do, I ask myself, what is it that I want to communicate to the viewer or the consumer? What is it about this project that I want to make them understand? And once I come up with that concept, everything that I do in regards to creating that project or creating that product, I try and stay on that path. With the record pool, it was basically, what do I want to communicate with the record pool? The record pool is basically a show in which we take R&B, hip hop, pop, and promote it to an artist of people that wouldn't otherwise know about these artists. So it's kind of like the underground. It's like the mainstream for underground artists. A lot of artists don't have a chance to get, radio exposure. A lot of artists don't even get a chance to have interviews and, show what they can do. So the record pool was a show dedicated to, creating that platform or creating that lane, having artists come in, give them a press run, give them promo, treat them like a mainstream artist, but on an underground level. So it's just kind of, showing people that basically I'm an R&B artist. This is what I'm doing. These are the projects I'm dropping. If you want to get in tune with me, if you want to listen to my music, just letting people know where they can find them. But for the most part, taking a project from beginning to end is just basically about execution and consistency. And my thing is, like I said before, trying to make sure that I communicate a certain idea or aspect of culture to that person to keep them coming back, and investing in what I have.
That's what's up. So are artists selected to come on a record pool? What's the booking process like?
So basically with the record pool, it's kind of a combination of the two. If we see an artist that's out there, and we like them, we'll reach out to them and say, hey, we like your music. We'd like you to come on the show. Also, if artists are interested in coming on the show, they come on our website, they send us a link to their music, their information, and we listen to the music and we make sure that it's of a certain quality and a professional capacity. And once we listen to that and we see that that's what it is, we reach out to them and say, hey, we'd love to have you come on the show. We schedule a time and then we create what's called a promo reel for them, advertising them that they're going to come on the show. And then after that, we promote their music on our radio station. So both of those.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
So, what inspired you to become a creator?
I would say,
and how has that inspiration evolved over time?
When I first decided to become a creator, it was just basically, I wanted to just be a graphic designer, right? So I came out of college, 2001. The goal of a graphic designer during that time is to get hooked up with a major ad agency, right? So, your goal is to, get hooked up with an ad agency, become a designer, become a graphic designer, work on all of these major campaigns and things of that nature, for these different companies. So that was my goal in coming out of college. I worked at an ad agency for a while, worked in one of two Black ad agencies that was in the entire city at the time. And I did it for a while and I realized that it really wasn't fulfilling me as much as I thought it would, because let's say I'm working on a McDonald's account. So everything that I'm designing is for McDonald's, or I'm working on a Kmart account. So everything that I design is for Kmart and things of that nature. So it really wasn't fulfilling me the way I wanted to. So I made the decision to kind of start just becoming a freelancer and working with people who I really saw, that I really saw were good, good designers and had products that, that I felt that I wanted to attach myself with. What inspires me every day, and to be a creator is basically, I want to try and outdo what I've done every day. I want to try and take the things that I've learned over my career and apply them, as going forward. I've always been a very visual person. The thing that if I can take what you have in your head, right? You tell me something, and well, this is what I want for my music video, sketch. This is what I want for my album cover. And my goal is to take the ideas that you've told me and match them so good to what you said that you're like, wow, this is exactly what I had in my head. That's the goal for me, to somebody to tell me like, this is exactly what I had in my head, sketch. I appreciate it. Some people don't realize, but as a creator, you get a high off that, knowing that you can take what somebody had and actually put it in and manifest it,
Right, delivering it.
Delivering. Manifestation is like in anything, you know, but for me, being able to take what somebody has and put it out in the universe and actually create it, that's what really motivates me. And that's what really has, over time, it was more so, you know, over time, it was more so getting recognition as, you know, I did this album cover for this major artist, so I did this ad campaign. As I've gotten older, it's, did I accomplish what this person wanted me to do for them? And that's where I've gotten my inspiration from over the years.
That's what's up. Cause I'm gonna tell you right now, my first two album covers that you did, man, not only do I think the albums are good,
Uh-huh.
but the album covers motivated people to buy it, you
Yeah.
know? When it
Yeah.
wasn't a time when it was the internet or nothing like that. Like when
Right.
people saw the posters and stickers, they was like, I'm going to get this.
Yeah.
And like during the time when we was doing it, I thought a lot of my work was going in vain until the product start moving, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
One thing I'll say about that also as well, the first time that the first time that I saw your work, so Liz said, you know, I got this guy, he's looking for some artwork, and he showed me something that you had prior to me designing for you. And I was like, okay, it was pretty good. I ain't gonna lie, it was pretty good. But I was like, what can I do to top this? So everything, when I started to listen to your music, you know, of course, you know, top tier level MC, you know what I'm saying? Y'all
Man,
was
thank you.
y'all was one of you all were ahead of y'all time by, you know, leaps and bounds. But when I began to listen to your music, I began to paint a picture in my head of what your music represented visually. So that
Right.
that really helped me to, you know, kind of, you know, make sure I tailor something that people would go out and buy.
Man, thank you. They was buying it. Sold out. Sold out.
Yes, sir.
So can you discuss a challenging project that you worked on? And how did you come overcome that adversity, like with creative vision and differences?
What challenging project? Um, what would that be? I would say, you know what was the most challenging project that you would know about. So for a time, I was working with this company called Twin Barrel Entertainment,
Okay.
and they had a lot of MCs, man. It was like they had a lot of MCs, and basically they brought me in and they said to me, okay, whatever your vision is for us, we're gonna go with it, but it just has to sell. So that was pretty much, it was kind of like they wanted me to create, create campaigns for each one of their artists. So what I did was
Ooh.
it was a lot, you know what I'm saying? Um, what I did was I took about a month and I just hung around the artists, just kind of, saying I hung around them in the studio. I just kind of, trailed them in their everyday lives just to see exactly what about this artist can I promote that would differentiate them from the next artist within the label.
Mm-hmm.
So what I began to do is create personality. I would take their personality and I would create a visual representation for each artist for that label and for those different rappers.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that was hard is that this was a an urban label. They were out of Fort Heights, Illinois. If you know anything about Fort Heights, it's one of the poorest suburbs in the nation. So but these artists were very hungry MCs, and they were they had raw energy, and they were just very talented. So what I did was I tapped into that and just created a personality around each of the artists, and I was able to separate so that if you wanted this type of music, you get this artist. If you want this type of music, you get this artist. And I was able to take that and put it into a representation to show how different they all are. But when it was time to promote all of them, I created another campaign to show how unified they were. So it's just kind of, I always look at it like anytime you come across something that's hard and difficult, step away from it and look at it from just an aspect of who that person is or what that person represents and build on that. Never try and create something for somebody that doesn't represent them, you know. But I would say just kind of, the main how I was able to pretty much overcome that was just dive deep into that person, into those different people's, lives, pretty much.
Okay. Have you ever collaborated with somebody other than an artist? How is that?
Yeah, I've done a lot of collaborations with different people from different aspects. I once did so when I was working as a an intern at RJ Dale Advertising, I was working with this company called the Black McDonald's Association. And basically what they were this association in which all of the McDonald's in Chicago that were black owned, they
Mm-hmm.
wanted advertising campaigns tailored to them. Now this is something, different from music, fashion, that type of thing. It's basically these are, people that are, 50 to 60 years old. They got these establishments and they want a campaign to promote to their customers, So
Right.
it was kind of different, but how I approached it was, these are people that were very, I call it heritage heavy. They were very proud of the things that they had accomplished in their neighborhoods, and they wanted their campaigns to reflect that and being, these owners of these establishments. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, stepping out of the young modern advertising aspect and stepping back in time and kind of understanding where these people came from in their journeys. A lot of these guys were, a lot of these guys walked with Martin Luther King when he came to Chicago, and they
Mm-hmm.
got their start in, just being, being that face of their communities, and kind of being that person to represent heritage and longevity. So like I said, I've always just tried to, attach myself to what's important to that person, or to their campaign,
Right. Okay. What role does feedback and criticism play, in your creative process?
It plays the most important thing out of everything that I do, Radis. When I do something, when I create something, I'm trying to, at the best of my ability, match what this person or this, with this, whether it's a company, whether it's an individual, I'm trying to match what it is they want. So criticism tells you, okay, this is what you can do better for this person, but it can also shows you what you can do better on later in your life when you're coming across people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't look at criticism as, a bad thing. I look at it as pretty much the best thing that can happen to you, because if they don't tell you, somebody else is going to tell you. And you don't want two people to tell you the same thing down the line.
Yeah.
So you want to get it the first time.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just like
true.
it's just like relationships. You get into a relationship with somebody and they tell you something and you don't listen, you're gonna hear it again if you don't if you don't
Yeah.
correct it. It's like
Already know.
so yeah,
Hmm.
man, criticism is very important for me.
How do you handle it though?
I'm the person, I handle it the best way I can. First of all, if it's something that I feel is valid, I'm gonna take that criticism and I'm gonna assimilate it. I'm gonna make sure that I apply it to my life.
Mhm.
If it's something I feel is not valid, I'm gonna ask that person, you know, on whatever we're doing, what prompted them to feel that way about me, or what prompted them to feel that way about my work. But
Mhm.
I try to always, take it positive. I try to understand what it is that I'm supposed to gather from this.
Right. That's what's up. So, in what ways do you strive to push creative boundaries?
Um, I always say it begins with, you know, taking the things that taking the things that you learn, and trying to, in a way, push the boundaries. Try to explore something new. Try to do something
Innovative.
innovative. Try to do something that you normally wouldn't have done, something that you are not used to doing. Putting
Hmm.
yourselves in situations that make you uncomfortable. When you
Right.
put yourself in situations that make you uncomfortable, two things are going to happen. Either you're going to adapt or you're going to fail. And
Hmm.
either one, whether you adapt or whether you fail, if I adapt, okay, that's good. But if I fail, okay, why did I fail? What could I have done better? You know,
Right.
um, the best thing is to, like I say, I'll give you this example. So there was a time when, so Freestyle Fanatic, I had this show called Freestyle Fanatic, and I couldn't find a host for the show. right? Everybody that I was reaching out to, they couldn't do it or whatever. So I said, you know what? Until I find a host, I'm gonna be the host.
I'm
So
gonna be the
I'm gonna
host.
be the host. So that was this. This was my first time getting behind the camera. I was always behind the camera, but now I'm in front of the camera. So I
Mm-hmm.
began to ask myself, what would I want a host to talk about? What would I want a host to say? You know what I'm saying? To move my show along. So I did it a couple of times. I wasn't too good at it, but I kept doing it. And I began to develop my own style of hosting. Again, I'm a person that's behind the camera. I'm behind the lens. I'm not really one to come in front of the camera, but in order to make this show move forward, I had to do it because I didn't have nobody. So it's just
Man,
putting yourself in front of it, and it was hard, but I had to just get over that fear.
right. So how do you how do you balance like let me see, I wanna get this right. So how do you balance creative freedom with practical restraints? Like just say if a client is expecting something and the client really they can't deliver themselves, but you the middleman, you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? You the tailor. How do you fix it? Or yeah, how do you fix it?
Creative practical restraint. So you mean when you say practical restraint, you mean like
So just say what I mean is like just say a client, for example, they got they got $100 budget, but they want a P
uh,
Diddy video. That's what I'm
I
saying.
got you. I got you. That has been that has been something that I've been able to kind of that was pretty much early on. That was my MO. People with, $100 budgets, they want $100,000 products. However, there's always a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? And with me, again, it's always just, whether it's, I would say, I would take all of my energy, and if they got $100, I put that creativity into that $100. I'm never going to not give somebody something just because, well, it's $100. I ain't gonna do as much as I would. I can't do that as a creator. It's not in me. I'm gonna give you the best of me. You know what I'm saying? You got $100. This is what I'm gonna give you. You know what I'm saying? Um, Whether somebody has $100 or $100,000, rather I look at it like everything is an opportunity. And who knows what opportunity may come for me doing this good job with this $100. You know, um, I've always felt like if God gave me the ability to create and do things and have this eye for creation, whether I'm doing photography, whether I'm doing graphic design, I'm going to use it to the best of my ability because I don't know how long I have on this planet. You know what I'm saying? So I want
Oh,
my
that's
work
right.
to speak on. So,
Legacy, legacy.
you know,
hmm
exactly.
So let me ask you this. So now I actually like this question, but a lot of people they don't. Um, so how has technology helped or hindered your creativity?
Technology has it's kind of a gift and a curse.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a graphic designer, a lot of things that I was doing back then, technology has really cut down on a lot of opportunity for a lot of people. Whether you're a graphic designer, whether you're a photographer, even if
It's
you're
taking jobs. It's
taking
taking
jobs.
jobs. Okay.
However, there's also an opportunity in that because as much as artificial intelligence and all of these things have came in, it shows who the real graphic designers are, because graphic design can't do everything. It can't there's some aspects of creativity it can do, but there's some aspects of creativity it can't. And that's where the human, I'm saying, construct comes in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at it as a challenge. It's just it's kind of like elevate, you know. You got to
Mm-hmm.
elevate now.
So how do you leverage these tools to enhance your creative output?
Um, I would say for me, it's just always I'm always creating 100. I'm always creating 24 hours a day. Whether it's you got plenty of software that's out there that you can use. You have plenty of software out there that'll help you be a that'll help you take pictures that you wouldn't normally be able to take. There's software out there to help you design in ways that you wouldn't normally be able to design. But I've always looked at it like this. If those things are snatched from you, what could you do on your own still? You know,
What can I do?
what can you do? You can't, So I've always looked at it like I'm not gonna get too invested in those tools. I'm gonna always be able at the end of the day go out there and be able to take those photos, you know, pull out a pad and pen and design what I want to with my hands if I need to. I can pull out a paintbrush and design what I need because at the end of the day, the real people at the end of the day, the fakes will be shown, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's just you have to be able to do it on your own, man. So I leverage my ability, my innate ability.
Exactly. It ain't nothing like tapping in. Like to me, if I have to second guess it, or
Yeah.
if I be like, man, I don't think they gonna like this. That that's the red light for me to say, hey, put this shit out.
There you go.
And it always work or do good for some reason.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's crazy. But one thing that AI and technology, they don't have feelings, they don't have emotions, they
Right.
don't know how to captivate the people like the human experience,
Yeah. Yeah. The human experience is very important.
So what would you give new aspiring creators on a journey? Like, what advice would you give them?
I would say always, for one thing, never second guess yourself. Kind of like you just said. Um, Believe in yourself, you know, find out what works for you and continue to perfect it to the best of your ability. Because all of us on this planet, all 8 billion of us on this planet, have a special gift. You know what I'm saying? We all have gifts, but I have a special gift that's different from Router's special gift. So whatever that gift is, you know, practice it, continue to do it, and you just keep working on it and keep doing it so that it becomes, it's you're perfect at it. And then you'll stand out from everybody else. But I would just say consistency and continue to practice and perfect your gift, because you're going to run across competition. You're going to run across people out there that have a gift just like you, but what makes you different, So just consistency and continue to perfect your gifts, man.
Yeah. So if you could go back in time and tell young Sketchkilla anything that you've learned on your journey through
Yeah.
all of this time, what would you snatch up and tell young Sketchkilla?
I would have told young Sketchkilla at a certain time in his life, kind of like what you talked about earlier, is what I suffer with a lot of times. I would second guess myself. And a lot of things that were awesome ideas that I had, I never put them out because I'm like, what if people think this is stupid? You know what I'm saying? So I would tell young Sketchkilla, any and everything that you come across, put it out, put all of it out. Because there were times in my life where things would come across later on in life, ideas that I had. I'm like, man, I had that idea, but I didn't put it out because I didn't think it was going to rock. So I would have told myself no more second guessing early.
Right, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that because that's a genuine answer.
Yeah.
So you ready to have a little fun?
Absolutely. Let's go.
All right, so it's this game that we play on Riders Live. It's called Either or. You can only
Okay.
pick one. You can't be in the middle or nothing. It's just either or. All right?
All right.
Okay. All Eyes on Me or The Chronic?
Whew. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go with All Eyes on Me all day.
I know that's right.
Yeah,
Okay. Let me see what else. Who do you think has the best catalog, Nas or Jay-Z?
the best catalog. Wow. I'm gonna say, and people gonna disagree with this. I'm gonna say Nas because some of Jay-Z's catalog was taken from Nas.
Okay.
That's
Hey,
just my opinion.
that's what's up. So, are you from the Heights or not?
I'm from No, I'm from the south side of Chicago, bro.
Okay. Who is your favorite producer from Chicago that's not a mainstream producer?
Oh well. My favorite producer, oh, I mean, it's gonna be 100% literature.
Okay, that's what's up. Hey, literature, you heard that, right? Okay. That's what that's what's popping. All right. Who's your favorite female MC? Jean Grey, or you know what I'm about to say? Rhapsody. Rhapsody or Jean Grey?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to say, man, Jean Grey is my favorite MC, man. The work that she used to do with Talib Kweli and a couple others from Raucous Records, that's those songs she had them. I played those songs like religiously, and her albums were like incredible. I mean, Rhapsody is dope, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna go with Jean Grey.
Okay. Which show is your favorite right now? Eastside Certified or the Record Pool?
Oh wow.
I know they both your babies, but
Yeah, yeah.
just at the moment,
At
because
the
I
moment,
I understand that you could like the development of
mhm.
Eastside Certified and how it's going and everything, but it's no knock on either show.
Yeah, yeah. Right now, I'd say right now, Eastside Certified is my favorite right now. What I'm saying, we doing some really incredible things. You know what I'm saying? We're moving it to the next level. Gonna be doing the same thing with the record pool, but I really am, me and the host DJ MH to we really have, been able to really do some amazing things with the show. So, but I say right now, Eastside Certified.
Okay. Green screen or location video filming? Do you prefer to use green screen or be on location?
My younger self would have said green screen, but now 100% on location. There's nothing about being able to film something and really capture the environment that you're in. You know, that's 100% photography and film.
Okay. Series or movie? Would you prefer to film a series or a movie?
I'm 100% movie, all day.
Okay. May I ask why?
Because there's so much that you can do um, within a movie. There's so many gems that you can create a lot of what's the term they call Easter eggs, and you can put Easter eggs in films in a way that you can't put it in series. Um, it's just it may be just my preference, but I really enjoy character development in movies as opposed to series.
Okay. What does a Sketchkilla storyboard look like?
Oh wow, a Sketchkilla storyboard is pretty much what does a Sketchkilla storyboard look like? I love in my storyboards. I love to start in the past, very flashback heavy. You know, bringing somebody from the beginning of the story and maybe jumping back and forth within the story. Very flashback heavy, and at the end of the story, um, making it an making the ending something that they didn't expect. But my storyboards are very flashback, a lot of action, very action packed. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of, I like to delve deep into, the human psyche. But yeah, that's what mine are.
That's what's up. CDs or streaming?
CDs 100%. Streaming, streaming takes away from the artist. CDs gives the power back to you in the same way. CDs hold their value. You know, it's hand to hand. They can't manipulate your money behind the scenes. You see at the end of the year when all the artists they post their streams and all that stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
you have to remember those numbers are manipulated. But Master P couldn't get manipulated. He sold 1 million copies out of his trunk, so they had to give him his money. So 100% CDs.
Right. The only thing that I do like about streaming, since I can't buy numbers, I won't
Right.
do it because I'll be cheating myself. It help you find where your audience is.
Yeah.
If you got a true audience.
Hmm.
That's the only thing that I like about it. So I can, pinpoint where I need to go so I could get on my vinyl, get on my
That's
CD,
true.
get on my flash drive. But I
Hmm.
like your answer. It wasn't a right or wrong answer, but that's the answer that I would have chose. Okay, you used to do a skit back in the day with the little man cooking. I don't know his name, but would you care to tell the listeners about the guy, and how did that sketch come about?
So I got into this. So the name of the sketch was called "Cooking in the Hood" with Chef Sizzle O'Dizzle, and this was a character I came up with to talk about. It was kind of a spoof on all of the bad things we eat as living in the hood, all of the unhealthy things we eat. So the name of the guy was his name was Chef Sizzle, and Chef Sizzle was a cook that used to work in the jails. He would cook in the jails. So
Wow, I didn't
yeah,
know that.
you know
I
that I had
never
a
knew that
backstory.
about that skit. That's what's up.
Yeah, he used to cook in the jail. So he got his own cooking show, and he's taking all of the things that we eat and just taking them to a very unhealthy level. Sodium heavy, whether it's Cheetos with nachos, or if you ain't got no money. A lot of these things he's making because you ain't got no money. So it's like a cheese sandwich, just a lot of ghetto stuff that we would eat. But the whole premise of the skit was look at the things we have to eat just in order to survive. You know what I'm saying? So he
Right.
have a little comedy with it. He'd be dancing around, cooking and stuff like that. But that was kind of the idea behind it.
Okay. So where is Chef Shizzle Snizzle right now? And is there any plans to bring him back?
I've always thought that at a certain point I was going to reintroduce him, but it may be once I get these shows at a point where I'm like, okay, I got these shows rolling the way I wanted to. Now I'm gonna start and go back and do a couple of things that I enjoyed doing because I really enjoyed doing that character. I was able to connect with a lot of other comedians that kind of came in and help me facilitate the character. I said probably maybe in a year or so, y'all may see Chef Sizzle back on the scene.
I miss him.
Chef Sizzle
You
came out before, all of these TikTok videos and stuff. So now
man, Chef
the
Chef
it's like,
Sizzle would be a good animated cartoon.
I never thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah. You
Okay.
can have that. You can have that.
For sure.
So if it's anything you could leave with the listeners of Ride Us Live, what would it be?
Uh, man, the one thing that I will always say is continue living in your truth. You know, every day try and get better, and everything you do, do it to the glory of God. Just continue being the best person that you. And as you try and get better, things will, you'll see things begin to happen for you. It's not saying that things aren't going to, go wrong, but you got to stay consistent. It's the marathon, as they always say. You know, continue to get better. Continue to,
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Stick to the script.
there you go.
So this has been another episode of Ride Us Live. Peace.